Hey everyone, thought I'd do a quick video for you all. In case you didn't see the community post, got sick the middle of last week and have mostly gotten over the main brunt of it. Now I'm in sort of the recovery phase. So I've still got, it was an upper respiratory issue. I don't know if it was the Rona or just some of the more typical stuff that happens, but chest hurts, all the typical respiratory problems you can think of, but the big thing was the deep coughing where it's deep in your chest hurts. But I'm definitely feeling better, and I thought I'd at least sort of stress test myself, see how I feel under annoyance and under pressure, so to speak, in doing a video. And why not subject myself to Matt Powell? These videos are at least kind of short, should go pretty quickly, especially since AJ is actually about to go live here in a few minutes at the time of recording, like about 20 minutes. So yeah, I thought I'd go on and do this one from Matty Powell, college students stumped by evidence for creation. So let's see what kind of typical by the book bullshit this video is.
7 billion people, I think it's nearly 8 billion people came from two people. I mean, that's gotta.
Yeah, but evolution asserts that 8 billion people descended from a rock.
Ah, yes, the classic a rock line. Because, the only way to combat saying that your idea of everyone coming from two people and just ignoring the genetic bottleneck of massive incest like that, or, 6 or 8 people, or however many it's supposed to have been descended from the ark situation, however the math works out, us ridiculing that for what it actually says, the only way to counter it is to completely lie about what the science and actual reality is. So, yeah, you're just full of it, Matt.
Where do you guys think we came from, initially?
A rock.
Oh, God. But you're asking college students who probably haven't really pondered into this too hard, and also this is just kind of, taken on the fly. I don't know. It's just like they'll get these little snippets where someone random will say that, and they'll just roll with this shit. Why am I doing this to myself again?
What do you think? Do you think we came from a rock?
No.
Hey, there it goes. God, pause wasn't working. So, something I want to bring up as well is that, okay, they're university students. So these are kids out of high school, basically. They could be freshmen, could be junior, could be senior, that doesn't matter. These are college kids, though. These are students. They're still learning. And while with the nature of college, your education gets specialized and you begin to focus things, this doesn't mean that they are so focused yet. So asking them these questions really doesn't hold any more water than it does asking a high school student, which isn't much better than asking a middle school student, which isn't much better than asking an elementary school student. Yeah, these are proper young adults. The cognitive facilities our faculties are very different between those age groups. But, you know, they're not the most explicitly, expertly trained on all these things. It's like, come on. They're still basically everyday people. They're not experts like you want to think they are, and that's the game you're playing here. That's the edge you're going with. Is that they're college students, so they better know everything.
Okay.
I don't believe that one bit, but
What about this? Maybe you believe this. Evolution study surprises experts. Was your ancestor a ball of jelly? Do you think your ancestor was a jellyfish?
no.
Wow, pop science. Yeah, just roll with that. And also, hang on, did it
Was
say?
your ancestor a ball?
I can't read the smaller text as to what it actually says, but I mean, ball of jelly is not what a jellyfish is. They didn't say jellyfish there. You're putting words into their mouth. If they did, deeper into the document, whatever. And of course, you gotta throw the SpongeBob image in there, because duh, which I'm pretty sure, That's the actual scientific little piece of pop sci, and that's the thing they added in because he hung out with Kent Hovind, so he decided to add SpongeBob into everything. Seriously, Viacom needs to sue.
Ball of jelly. Do you think your ancestor was a jellyfish?
No.
What about like shrews, ancient rats?
No.
They say we all descended from a shrew, so I don't know. What you don't believe?
Shrew-like. We use analogies to describe what these creatures were. Rat-like, shrew-like, smaller mammals. This dude doesn't look like science is his forte, though. Not that you can judge people per se based on their appearances, but he just doesn't seem like a science guy to me.
Believe any of that?
No. Not a single piece.
And what does it matter what he believes anyway? It's irrelevant to the facts.
Well, where do you think we came from?
I'm not sure, but I know not a rock or a jelly.
Hey guys.
Hello. Hi.
I don't know if you guys heard or not, but we
You know, I really wonder, is this guy actually allowed near school campuses? Because he did hang out at Dinosaur Adventureland for like a year and a half.
found one of our earliest ancestors.
All right.
Can you guys guess what it was?
No, I don't particularly follow that realm of science.
They don't want to be bothered by you, dude. They're doing their own thing. It looks like some gamer bros. They could be fucking playing Guild Wars for all I know. There, worked Guild Wars in.
Check it out. Was your ancestor a ball of jelly? Evolution study surprises experts. They're now claiming we descended from a jellyfish.
That is not what it says. Stop lying. Lying is a sin, Matt. Come on. But it's okay if you're lying for Jesus.
How do you guys feel about that?
I mean, as part of my religious beliefs and further study, I don't quite believe evolution is the most applicable answer to the creation of life.
You don't believe we descended from like a fish or anything like that?
No, evolution is not quite possible with our understanding of current genetics. Typically,
And yet, people like Matt Powell will say that, you know, the education system is brainwashing people, but then he goes to a higher education facility and someone says something like this with his old pals over there nodding. So obviously, even if they were brainwashing people, it's not going very well. Because you would think that by college level, why were they letting in college students who wouldn't believe the evolution propaganda? Like, what the fuck? Like, this video doesn't look good on you, dude.
mutations are caused by the deletion of genetic code, which would be disastrous for most life forms. Any sort of mutation, any sort of addition or creation of genetic code is always going to require considerable amounts of effort. And so...
Well, bro, like...
God, I don't know why pause is so delayed. This dude knows less than jack shit. Hovind describes the crap better than this bro did. Let's continue.
No offense, but you're like a dinosaur because everybody believes in evolution. Like,
It's also a theory. Theories can be tested.
Oh my fucking god. Is this dude a plant? Seriously. Were you planted for this? I call plant.
Proved wrong.
okay. So like you don't believe life came from a rock or anything like that?
Why would life come from a rock? Rocks don't have genetic code.
Well, here it is. And I was actually going to ask you guys about who your first ancestor is. It's actually a rock. Check this out. In Science Today, you owe your life to a rock. How do you guys feel about that?
Again, popular science stuff, condensing things down and sensationalizing it for clicks.
How would that...
Dude in the back left gives no fucks. He's like, I'm zoning out, baby. I'm twittering the Facebook. I'm playing some Raid Shadow Legends. I ain't dealing with this.
be possible?
It's science. I mean, they say so. I trust the experts.
What do the experts say?
Do you mind leaving us be?
Oh, thank you, dude. Thank you. Also, the word cringe is overused on the internet, but my god, this whole segment was nothing but cringe.
I mean,
Okay.
It feels like you're just trying to show us articles on a phone and get a reaction.
Okay.
So if you could hurry along, I mean, please find someone else.
Keep them rolling. Keep them rolling. Keep them rolling. So actually, dude, you did amazing. I'm a Christian, bro.
I'm a Christian, bro.
I'm a Christian.
I mean, that obviously breaks the whole plant idea, you know. I say that sarcastically, but seriously, it's like, oh, and then all the rest of the God bros over here, like, yeah, you're in the good side. But it looks like dude in the back still gives no fucks. He might not even be related to that group. That four at the front table might be their own group, and he's just another, and he just decided to say, hey, get the fuck out of here.
I was confused a little bit when I saw the cross talk. You're like, by the way, the life came from a rock. I went, where? I'd love to see how that lines up in Genesis 1-3.
Yeah. No, you did really well.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I post that?
I do not mind if you post that.
Okay, that was really good. What we do, actually, you can look up my channel. It's Matt Powell. I'll show you real quick.
No. It's Matt Powell Official, because you've got to add official in there, because everyone's impersonating you. Still don't understand that shit where random ass people decide to put official into everything. Who officiated this? You're just a Matt Powell. If a person can't figure out which Matt Powell is the real Matt Powell when they're looking for Matt Powell and they're looking for you, then they have bigger problems than whether or not they can find the proper Matt Powell.
You're going to be debating me. This is crazy. The atheists are going to be so mad.
You're not mad. You're all just fucking idiots. Sorry to the little crew hanging out here. You look like some cool guys, but...
And I'm okay with that.
I am so proud of you guys, man. Thank you so much. When I saw Falcons for Christ, I'm like, oh man, this could be a gold mine, and it was. All right, guys, so we just got done at the library here at Central Michigan University, and man, it was quite an interesting experience. We talked to some people who believed in God, some who believed in evolution. We met some people who believed in creation as well. That was a real blessing. And so right now we're on our way over to the University Art Gallery and then the building over from it. Dinosaurs were discovered back in the 1800s, right?
Oh my god, seriously, when I press pause, it takes like 3 seconds before it actually trips. Bugging the hell out of me. Thanks, YouTube. It could be Firefox acting up, but it's probably YouTube just being... whatever. Kodak's funny sometimes. I just... You know, it hit me. Does he think he's Ray Comfort now? Are you Banana Man? Well, you do have Mr. Peel in the backyard, so maybe you are the next Banana Man. Maybe that's why you left Dinosaur Adventureland. You wanted to fully embrace the banana. You wanted to become the next Ray Comfort. It's all coming together.
And so what we've discovered is these dinosaur engravings.
Okay.
Now this is before they knew about dinosaurs.
Okay.
Oh my god. Ancient people carved stuff into things. It kind of looks like a dinosaur the way we look at it. And when the people tell us that it's actually perfectly normal fauna that lived around the area and that we even see today, like hippos and giraffes and other stuff, we're just like, nuh-uh, because God.
What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it might be a different animal, or?
Also, he didn't show it up close to our end. I mean, you know, again, I could go off and look these up, but we do this live here. This is a live, on-the-fly reaction, so, you know, it is what it is, but, You know, like, I could go and look the stuff up, but that doesn't make for an interesting video, and I don't feel like having to edit all my videos and put lots of production work into them, because it's a matter of return for rewards, so, you know, a return on investment, I should say, so, man, I'm feeling good, but I can tell I'm still kind of weak from being sick. Let's power through.
Fair enough.
Check this out, dinosaur surprise. Scientists find collagen inside of a 195-million-year-old bone.
This has been explained to death with you guys, that it had to be put through particular processes, was a very specific thing that happened. It's not like every fossil you find just has random collagen and stuff in it. Mary Schweitzer has explained this in explicit detail, and you guys keep misrepresenting it. not caring what the very person who made the discovery, one of the key people in it, has to say, because y'all don't care about anyone. You act like you do, but you don't. You certainly have no respect, because you don't respect Mary Schweitzer saying, hey, stop using my research.
I mean, one would think that it would have to be somewhat recent.
Also, again, these are kids who have very likely never looked into this. Even if that guy is just a straight up typical atheist, as in he's just decided on his own, meh, I don't believe this, which is relatively unlikely, but let's say he was. Who's to say he's at all fallen into the rabbit hole of this kind of content, like the very content you're watching right now, where people discuss this stuff in more detail? That he's looked up these kinds of projects, that he even gives a flying fuck about dinosaurs, let alone enough to have looked up this collagen thing. I would never have learned about this, likely, had I not fallen into this rabbit hole of anti-creationist bullshit. Because that just never came up, ever, in my cursory looking up of dinosaur info. So I could imagine, unless someone was going into paleontological fields or, had a big focus on that, they would never come across it. So this random kid, unless he happens to be studying this exact subject and happens to have really gone in here, he's not going to have a clue about the details of this. So he's going to have the first impression everyone does. Why? Because he's uneducated on this. And that's not to call him stupid. He literally hasn't had the chance to learn the details on this in the academic setting that is being portrayed here as, as something to validate these people's opinions above that of the average person.
Then, if the pattern is that the collagen isn't supposed to be there after this amount of time, then the only logical explanation is that it didn't get there that long ago.
Or that various methodologies which are explained in the paper likely could have helped preserve it into a state where, with the right set of chemical additives, it could have been partially restored to some kind of less fossilized state, we could call it. Again, I don't know the exact details, but I know it enough.
Yeah, I think that's a solid answer. Maybe they lived a little bit more recently than we think.
Yeah.
We find a whale on a mountain.
Yes.
We're asking people, how did it get there?
On the mountain. Through seashores. Am I right?
Okay, first off, the guy is obviously not from the United States. So we've got an English as a second language thing going on. So he might not be able to explain himself well in this. Because I hear that, and this may, again, be me over-interpreting what he says because I'm going to have a bias from my perspective. But he's trying to say that the mountains we have today could have been ancient coastlines. If whales beach themselves, as they die, some of them do sometimes, he's thinking, if it beaches itself, and buried, fossilized, and that's becomes uplifted, and holy shit, now it's a mountain. Hey, there you go. That's just me throwing out there what he could have been trying to say if he was trying to say something that was accurate to reality. I don't know. But let's see what he does have to say after Matt continues his crap.
We found one that's vertical.
Okay.
That died.
Yes.
And it's on its tail. We're asking people, how did that happen?
There's the pause thing again. Yeah, and notice all the other layers in that diagram are shifted because the material has moved. It's just stratigraphy can be bent, can be shifted, can change. You can see that at various places. You can go to the San Andreas Fault and see evidence of that. So, it's kind of obvious it was laying down flat, and that flat land is now tilted at a nice angle. It's not that hard to figure out.
Happen?
With a smug smile on Matt Powell's face. Fuck you, Matt.
Oh, what will connect to rock first? Oh, it's between the rocks? Maybe they made a hole or something between that.
Like burrowed into the rocks?
Yes, because they are huge. They can.
Yeah, do I need to reiterate the whole fact that this is just the man on the street thing? And when you ask random people, even if they are university students, again, they're students. They might not specialize in these things. They might not care about these things. You know, he said he was going to an art building, didn't he? So, I mean, these would be artists. I don't think someone painting, you know, painting portraits is going to give two flying fucks as a part of their studies geostratigraphy.
Do that easily.
I don't know, rapid placement of material on top of that. Like, whatever had it like that, it had to have been trapped fairly quickly. I'm again thinking flooding.
Oh man, and then the cherry picking of all the responses and stuff. Because, you know, this is highly edited, this isn't the raw interviews and everything, but even regardless, I mean, you know, just because it's what you first think doesn't at all mean that's what it actually is. It's just not how reality works. And again, he's got, oh, these are college students. These are their first impressions with this stuff. They're smarter than the average person. Did you go to college? They're college students, so they must know better. And if they can see this, then anyone can see it. That's where he's going with this. It's obvious.
Of some sort.
We actually find a whale in the desert, and this one was found in Egypt. Wow. We're asking people, how did a whale get all the way to the desert?
Duh, it wasn't desert before. It was under the ocean. You know, the ocean, because the oceans do change. Oh, wait, someone might get offended because I used a slightly hillbilly accent for that. Whatever. I mean, come on. You're going to be like, oh, well, it could have been the flood. It's like, yeah, but the flood doesn't work. It's been explained how it doesn't work. But then you just argue that it does, and then suddenly we're not talking about a whale in the desert anymore. We're talking about your magical, you know, your magical deluge.
Only thing I could think of is like massive floods.
A whale in the desert?
Or again, it was seafloor. Get that crap out of the water for a while. It's gonna get pretty dry. Just saying. Get it where it doesn't rain very well, because climate patterns dries up. Heck, that would make sense for, you know, being sort of the genesis of the Sahara. You already have pretty much dead seafloor compared to how, you know, the surface like your front yard, you know, would be. You know, grass out here and everything. So, you know, the sea level's lower. It's like, oh, hey, look, you know, now this is suddenly land. Oh, and it's dry out here. It's like, oh, it's already sandy. It's just gonna keep on being sandy. That's where I'm going. God, Matt Powell wears me out.
As well.
Hot dog. Walked far.
Oh. Oh, you're an art major.
Whale in the desert?
Yeah, I mean, these are all art majors, so why are you asking them?
Maybe whale lost his way. That's why. Somehow ended up in the desert.
I mean, this dude just ain't even taking it seriously, I don't think.
Lost his way?
Yeah.
Found himself in the desert?
Yeah.
We're provided with certain facts in school when we're learning, and then these are stuff that's contradicting the facts that we're provided with, so I'm not really sure what to conclude about that.
Sure. Do you think the Earth is millions of years old, or do you think maybe God created us recently? Where are you coming from?
I don't believe in the Big Bang Theory.
So you don't believe in the Big Bang, like everything came from an explosion?
Mm-hmm.
Wonder how many people they asked who did contest their bullcrap.
Of nothing.
Actually, odds are, you know, once they get talking, most people who don't care are going to be too busy doing things that actually matter to even entertain the discussion, because it's honestly not conversation worth entertaining unless you already believe the bullshit, so.
You don't believe that an infinitely dense hot point exploded and created the universe?
Not what the Big Bang was!
Because the Earth is so huge, and the universe itself is so huge, so when you tell me that all of this was from a singularity, an explosion, that was contained in a singularity, is like, it's kind of pointless.
Well, I mean, yeah.
not an accurate descriptor. When the people's base conceptions are wrong, you run into problems like that. That's one of the reasons education needs to be better funded and things need to be honestly explained better.
Yeah, 326 million trillion gallons of water exist on the Earth. And so to say that all of those gallons of water were condensed that small, it doesn't make sense, does it?
It does not.
Even if you just do carbon.
Also, you don't get into the concept that, it didn't have to all be matter. Matter and energy are the same thing, ergo, you could theoretically condense what would amount to raw energy into a singularity. And upon such expansion, you'd eventually have stuff cool to the point where baryonic matter can form. So quantum physics is pretty damn fascinating.
Carbon dating, you can prove that the Earth is much older than 6,000 years old.
Okay, so carbon dating.
Carbon dating is only good for certain values. You use other radiometric methods for others. And there's additional scientific branches, different studies that can help corroborate things. God, I'm tired. Powering through. We're almost there.
So carbon dating, we know it goes up to 50,000 years, right? Yeah. We find carbon inside of dinosaur bones. Now remember, it only lasts 50,000 years. If we're finding carbon inside of dinosaur bones, is it plausible to suggest the dinosaurs died out millions of years ago? So carbon dating.
All of this would be explained in associated papers if true. I forget the exact details. Carbon dating is always one of those things I get reading about and then get bored with, which is weird because I like radioactive stuff, so you'd think I'd be interested, but man, for some reason it does not hold my attention. So, as standard, refer back to the papers.
Is actually a friend to creationism and not Darwinian evolution. Do you have any response to that?
Not really.
So if you think the Earth is 6,000 years old, what's your response to like Venus, Mercury, Jupiter?
Jupiter is actually warm on the inside. Could it have stayed warm if I put a cup of coffee on the table, right? And steam is coming off of it? Is it reasonable to assume that cup of coffee is millions of years old?
Bruh, Jupiter is basically a failed star. When you reach gas giants like that, that amount of material is on its way towards becoming a star. Now, it'd take a good chunk more for stellar fusion to actually start happening. But you have enough material going on that the natural thermodynamic cycle, combined with whatever radioactive isotopes and the like, would be buried in the, I want to say, liquid core of the planet. Metallic hydrogen and crazy stuff like that under extremely high pressures. You can get nice heat generation because we're talking about a lot of matter, a lot of mass, a lot of already existent energy. Your sense of scale is just lost, and these basic analogies mean fuck all.
Rings around Saturn are moving away from the planet. And so it means that Saturn is young, that it was created recently.
7 billion.
No. The rings are relatively young. Saturn can be old as dirt. Oh wait, it is old as dirt, according to you guys.
People, I think it's nearly 8 billion people came from 2 people. I mean, that's gotta...
Yeah, but evolution asserts that 8 billion people descended from a rock.
Also, how do you claim that consciousness came from a creator and not from some adaptation that we obtained through evolution?
Unconscious dead material is not going to produce conscious living organisms.
How do you explain?
Y'all just assert that. You never actually explain explicitly where the block is. So, meh.
Adam and Eve, I mean, with the Habsburgs, you can see, like, inbreeding.
Inbreeding, yes, it would have been an issue had there been a lot of mutations. What causes inbreeding to be an issue? A lot of deleterious mutations building up. At the creation, there was no deleterious mutations, and that's why it's plausible to suggest we descended from 2 people because they had less mutations. As you add on to the population, you get more mutations.
Remember, the Bible says incest is A-OK.
If evolution is true, the first single-celled organism that came alive would have reproduced worse versions of itself, and it would have died out from mutations.
No, that's not how any of that works, and I'm so glad we're fucking done. Does it just end after this? Because AJ's stream went live, so yeah, we're done here. I'm literally gonna go catch that. I'll catch everyone later. Thanks for sticking through.